This is Anne from focusedandonfire.com. In these daily deposits, I'm talking about being more visible in your career, setting goals and making them happen, and getting things done without working harder, putting more pressure on yourself, or sleeping less. You ready? Today I want to talk about a sneaky thought that I'm sure you've been thinking yourself as well. It's the thought, I'll do this thing tomorrow. We have this thing that we want to get done and we need to get done today, but then our brain comes up with, I'll do this tomorrow. And our brain comes up with lots of reasons why it sounds like a good idea that we are not going to do that thing today, but why it's a much better idea to do that thing tomorrow. And so it seems like this logical decision, this reasonable decision that we're making, and our brain comes up with lots of good reasons why it sounds like a good decision. But what I'm going to do in this video and the next video is I'm going to show you that this thought, I'll do this tomorrow, is actually not a good idea. And I'm going to show you that tomorrow is actually worse than today, even though your brain is telling you that tomorrow is going to be so much better. And tomorrow you're going to be having such a much easier time to get things done than today. So I'm going to show you that the exact opposite is true. So what I've done is I've written down a couple of reasons that I see come up a lot. And there's two broad categories that I want to discuss with you in today's video and in the next video. One set of reasons is your brain telling you, but tomorrow you'll feel more energized. You're not feeling that energized right now, but tomorrow you're going to feel much more energized. You're going to have the right energy to get this done. You'll feel more inspired, you'll feel more motivated, you'll be in a much better brain space and headspace to get the work done, and the results that you'll be creating will be much better than the results that you will be creating today. So that is one set of reasons. Another set of reasons is this, I need to do this other thing first. And then once that thing is done, I can do the thing that I had originally foreseen to do today. And so it can be something related to the task that you had foreseen to do today. Like you can tell yourself, hey, I need to do some more research on a specific point in the presentation that I'm working on, or I need to discuss something with a colleague first. And so it can be things related to the task that you wanted to do, or it can be tasks that are completely different and just other things of which your brain is telling you like, you really need to do that thing first. And once that thing is done, you can do the other thing. So let's do the task, the unrelated task first, and put off the task that I had foreseen to do today. Let's put that off till tomorrow. And so it sounds like very justifiable and reasonable reasons not to do what you had foreseen today, but postpone it to tomorrow instead. I'm going to be showing you that that is a lie, and I'm going to be talking about these reasons in the next video. In this video, I'm going to be focusing on these reasons over here. And I'm going to be showing you why the reasons that you come up with telling yourself that tomorrow you'll feel more energized and tomorrow you'll feel more inspired and resourceful and creative, and that tomorrow things will go so much easier than today, I'm going to be showing you that that is actually a lie and that tomorrow you'll be worse off than today. In order to do that, I'm going to switch the paper and I'll be back in a second. All right, so I changed the paper, and as you can see, I've been drawing a little scheme. I'm going to be walking you through that scheme, and I'm going to be showing you that by not doing something today, but by putting it off till tomorrow, that things are actually worse tomorrow than they could have been today. So it all starts with the dreaded task. So you've got something that you want to get done, you need to get done, and it is planned for today. And in that moment, when you set out to do that task, your brain has two options. It can either follow through and do as planned so that you end up with task being done, or it can go into procrastination, which is what your brain is doing when it's saying like, hey, let's do this tomorrow. You are postponing and you are procrastinating. And the reason why your brain wants to procrastinate is because you are dreading the task at hand. And instead of working through that dread and going into following through and doing as planned, your brain is not wanting to work through the dread, but is wanting to escape from the dread, and is therefore going into procrastination and into postponing the thing you had foreseen for today to tomorrow. And the reason why it's going into that escape mode and let's escape the dread and discomfort of doing that task, the reason why the brain does that is because when you are not doing the task and procrastinating, doing something else instead, postponing till tomorrow, there is a sense of relief and a sense of safety and a sense of fun that can be found in doing something that is less dreadful, that might even be pleasurable and fun. And so you are pushing that dreaded task out in front of you, and you are not doing it and dealing with the dread and working through the dread and doing the thing as planned. So that is what the brain is doing when it goes into procrastination mode. It has you escape that dreaded feeling of doing the task and find that sense of relief and pleasure and safety instead. Now, what our brain does then, our brain is very clever. What our brain does then, it comes up with all kinds of reasons to justify the decision to not do something today but put it off till tomorrow. And one of the reasons that the brain comes up with is, oh, but yeah, it's actually a good thing because you'll feel much more inspired tomorrow. You'll feel much more energized tomorrow. You'll do a much better job tomorrow. And so those are seemingly reasonable reasons that the brain comes up with, thinking that the you of tomorrow will be much different than the you of today and will not feel that dread of doing that task. But of course, what is happening in reality is that you took the dreaded task, you didn't work through the dread, but you took the task and the dread you're feeling towards the task, you take that full package and then you don't do it today, but you put it on tomorrow's plate. Then of course, the task is still there and the dread is still there as well. And so nothing has changed really. And so you won't feel more inspired, you won't feel more energized, you won't feel more motivated to get that task done. You will still be facing that same dread. And so that's why this is actually a lie that the brain is telling you to justify its procrastination. Another thing that is happening is that since you haven't done the thing that you had foreseen to do today, since you haven't done that, but you've put it off till tomorrow, all of a sudden, tomorrow's plate that was already full is even more full. And instead of being full, it's overflowing full, which can then generate that sense of overwhelm. And when the brain feels on top of the dread, now also the overwhelm because there are just so many things that need to be done and you're never going to get this done and it's too much, then instead of tackling the task head on, the brain is going to want to escape that overwhelm and feel that desire to go into procrastination and procrastinate even more. And then a third thing that is happening when you put something off till tomorrow is that you tend to get mad at yourself for not having done the thing yesterday. And so you are seeing the next day that your plate is really full and it's just too much, you're never going to get this done, you're feeling the dread of doing the task, you're feeling the overwhelm, and then on top of that, you're getting mad at yourself for not having done a thing yesterday, for not having more discipline, for like wasting your time. How could you have made such a decision? It's always the same thing. And boom, you're being very mad at yourself. And when you feel mad at yourself, what the brain tends to do, the brain is not going like, oh, I'm being mad at myself, I'm feeling bad about myself, I'm feeling disappointed in myself, let's now do the dreaded task. No, when you feel mad and disappointed in yourself, you want to escape that feeling as well. And so that is creating that additional desire to want to go into procrastination and find a little moment of relief, of fun, of pleasure. And so, as you can see, instead of having here this one arrow pointing into that sense of relief and safety and fun, into that procrastination, there is now even more arrows pointing in that direction, even more desire to not do the thing that you wanted to do. And so the probability that you will postpone it again to the next day and then to the next day is really high because you're never tackling the root cause, and that is working through the dread that you are feeling to do the task in the first place. And then on top of that, what is happening? So these are things that are happening tomorrow. So you have the task today, you put it off till tomorrow, and then tomorrow it's not better. Even though your brain told you that it would be much better today, it's actually getting worse because there's still the dread of doing the task, there's the additional overwhelm, and there's the additional disappointment in yourself, being mad at yourself. And these are all driving you into procrastination even more. But then another thing that is happening, and that is happening today, is that you have this open loop in your brain. You had this task that you wanted to do, and your brain is still telling yourself, even though you've put it off till tomorrow, is telling yourself in the background, you should be doing that thing, you should not forget that thing, you will need to get that thing done. And so it's reminding you all the time that there is still this unfinished business that you need to take care of. And so that is this open should loop that is going around in your brain, even though you've put it off till tomorrow. Today, your brain is still being engaged with the task and is telling you that you should be doing it and that you should be working on it and that you should not forget to do it tomorrow and that it's really important. And so it is running in the background all the time. And that is basically not only making your tomorrow worse because you've got these 3 additional items going on, but it's also making your today worse because, okay, you didn't do the dreaded task, but you're reminding yourself all the time that the task still needs to be done. All right, so instead of telling yourself like, hey, let's do this tomorrow is going to be better, what I want you to do is to remind you that tomorrow is not going to be better. Tomorrow is going to be worse. And the way out of this additional overwhelm and additional being mad at yourself and feeling bad about yourself and having this constant open loop in your brain. So instead of that, the solution is not to do it tomorrow and to postpone it. The solution is to face the dread head on and work through the dread. And working through the dread will be much more pleasurable than what will be waiting for you tomorrow when the exact same task, the exact same dread that you haven't been working through is still waiting for you. But then on top of that, there is the overwhelm. On top of that, you get mad at yourself. On top of that, you have that open loop going on in your brain in the background. All right. So what I want you to take away from this video is that, oh, I'll do this tomorrow. Tomorrow will be so much better. I will be more energized, motivated, and willing to do that task is just a lie. That sounds reasonable, but it's just a little lie that your brain is coming up with to justify the impulse to postpone something. And so what I want you to take away is that tomorrow is not better than today. Tomorrow is actually worse than today because you will still face the same dreaded task, but now on top of that, you will have the overwhelm, you will have that feeling of being mad at yourself, and you will have that open loop in your brain going on. So tomorrow is not better than today. Today is actually the best day to get going and to face that dread head on, to work through it, and then to follow through and do as planned and have that reward of having done what you set out to do, having that pleasure of noticing and seeing that you keep your commitments to yourself. And that is so powerful. All right. I hope you found this helpful. See you in the next video. This was today's daily deposit. And now it's your turn. Imagine jumping out of bed in the morning, excited to get to work. Instead of feeling unfulfilled, trapped, and snowed under by endless to-dos, hard work, and other people's expectations. You want to lead and make a difference. It's time for you to let all that potential out, one tiny daily deposit at a time. Are you ready? Well, I got something for you. Are you finding yourself procrastinating despite your drive and commitment to do great work? Well, let me tell you, you don't need more willpower, discipline, or a better planner to get things done. Because those are not the reason why you find yourself procrastinating in the first place. Learn why you are procrastinating at focusandonfire.com/daily deposit. And learn how to stop procrastinating and get really great at doing exactly what you said you were gonna do. And that's how you become unstoppable.